Lane Kiffin drama in the SEC never dies, does it? The Ole Miss Rebels head coach's daughter is dating an LSU football player. She is dating LSU linebacker Whit Weeks, who has on the year as the starting weak side linebacker, has 11 total tackles, including a tackle for a loss and half a sack. Last year had 61 total tackles, had 125 total tackles, 61 of which were solo, 10 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, and an interception, along with 3 pass deflections and 2 forced fumbles. Weeks is a notable player for LSU, one of their primary players on defense. He was on the Netflix docuseries Any Given Saturday and was frequently interviewed when the show was discussing LSU, has been on the Tigers since 2023, the captain of the defense pretty much, and has been a huge part of turning the defense around under Brian Kelly. And Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry Kiffin, decided amidst this news to reveal the fact yesterday that she is dating Whit Weeks. There is a picture of them together. I'm pulling it up now on Instagram for you guys. It was revealed yesterday. Lane Kiffin's daughter, Landry Kiffin, dating Whit Weeks. Here they are right there. Look at that. Look at that. Such a cute couple. So happy for them. Yeah, that's right. His daughter is dating Whit Weeks. His daughter is dating an LSU player and makes that relationship public the week before his Ole Miss Rebels team has to go face LSU. What the H? Okay. Who was behind this? And I really have to ask, who was behind this? Was Whit Weeks behind it? Was Landry Kiffin behind it? Or was Lane Kiffin behind it? And I got a conspiracy theory, and General Urs's line of thinking is right where mine is right here. She's getting the LSU intel for daddy. Was Lane Kiffin behind his daughter making her relationship to LSU public? And if so, why? That's my take, and I'm going to make that the poll question. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and set up the poll question right now. Was Lane Kiffin behind his daughter decision to make her relationship with an LSU player public? And we'll say, yes, he wants to get in their head. Yes, he wants the playbook. Yes, he likes the headlines. Or no. You guys go ahead and vote on that. Was Lane Kiffin behind his daughter's decision to make her relationship with an LSU player public? Yes, he wants to get in their head. Yes, he wants the playbook. Yes, he likes the headlines. Or no. You guys go ahead and vote on that. I'm not entirely sure. My take is yes, he wants the headlines. Yes, he absolutely wants the headline. Dave loves the headlines of his daughter dating an LSU player the week before Ole Miss is set to face LSU. This is the type of stuff he does. This is the type of stuff he does. And I got to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't think it's like some methodical, like I'm trying to get in LSU's head or I'm trying to get the playbook. No, Lane Kiffin just likes headlines. Lane Kiffin is the guy. He is the Woody Johnson of college football. And for those who don't know, Woody Johnson's the owner of the Jets. And Woody Johnson makes a lot of moves just to win headlines. The most famous one or infamous one was they had Mark Sanchez as the quarterback. He was going to be their starter. They had Rex Ryan as a head coach. And Woody Johnson decided to go sign Tim Tebow as a backup right after the Giants won their second Super Bowl. Never mind the Jets, needing to restructure to try to go win a Super Bowl. Woody Johnson's decision was, no, I'm going to just try to get some more headlines by getting Tim Tebow. Even though I'm not going to make him the starter, I want him to be the backup because I want the headlines. Lane Kiffin likes the headlines. And with that in mind, I'm saying, heck yes, Lane Kiffin was 1,000% behind his daughter's decision to make her relationship with Whit Weeks public. This is the same Lane Kiffin, by the way, that just out of the blue decided to take a picture with his ex-wife last December to lead everybody to believe that they were dating. These are the type of things he does. This is who he is. Lane Kiffin has posted hilarious memes with his daughter, TikTok memes and things like that. Her name is Landry Kiffin. And this is the type of thing he does where he would have her publicize her relationship with an opposing team's player the week before they get set up. Now, again, Lane Kiffin's going to want his running backs to run right at Whit Weeks on top of that. It's also possible that maybe Landry Kiffin is upset with her dad right now, and she wants to get in her dad's head and the Ole Miss team's head. That's also possible too. I'm just saying that Lane Kiffin loves these type of headlines, and Diesel Lady says Kiffin is the Jerry Jones of college football. That's kind of a good one. Honestly, although Kiffin right now was good at his job, Jerry Jones hasn't been good at his job in 20 years. Adam says Kiffin's daughter is the product of a divorce at a young age. Little girl is out for revenge on daddy. Maybe this is a revenge move. Who knows? I agree with Tavante. He enjoys the headlines for sure. Yes, I agree. These type of things are, truth be told, Lane Kiffin. It's why you kind of miss him at Tennessee. Not that Josh Heupel's not doing a good job and things like that, but guys, that was, no matter what you say, that 2009-2010 season where Bruce Pearl was the basketball coach, Lane Kiffin was the football coach, and Pat Summitt was the Lady Vols coach. That is one of the best stories out there. Pearl and Kiffin at the same school was just too much entertainment, and it's unfortunate how that all played out because Tennessee would have been the splashiest school in all of college sports with those three together. But yes, no, Lane Kiffin is behind this. I believe 100%. What the H is brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Designs. They want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry, a Tennessee tradition. RickTerryJewelry.com.
Having been in the jewelry industry for a long time in the Knoxville community, I saw a need for a jeweler, a real jeweler.
Our ability to do these designs has really been based on the customers bringing new things in and challenging us as a store. Our goal is not to tell anybody what they want. Our goal is to listen to what they want and then help them get there.
Schedule your consultation today to get your special someone the perfect custom gift just in time for the holidays.
The poll question up: was Lane Kiffin behind his daughter's decision to make her relationship with an LSU player public? 47% say yes, he wants to get in their head. 27% say yes, he likes the headlines. 20% say no. 7% say he wants the playbook. Could he get the playbook? Who knows? That would be funny if he got the defensive playbook. I'll say that. Now, overall, Sam Shark, I agree with you. When you say I don't miss Lane Kiffin at all, Heupel is much better. I'm not so sure Heupel's actually a better coach. I think Lane Kiffin actually might be a better offensive coach, to be fair. I think Heupel establishes a better culture with his players and a better rapport, and I got to give him credit for that. But I actually think overall Lane Kiffin is a better coach. I'm just going to be honest. I think he is. I just think the culture part makes Heupel the better coach because he gets his players more motivated to play. He gets them to play together as a team, as a unit. But in terms of in-game coaching decisions and analytics and actual offensive, Lane Kiffin has the same as good of an offensive mind as Heupel. In terms of analytics, in-game coaching, I think Lane Kiffin is better. I do. But the culture thing does matter, which is what pushes Heupel over the edge. I just miss Lane Kiffin for the headlines. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm a reporter. I'm a commentator. Lane Kiffin gives you headlines, okay? It's as good as the headlines that Steve Spurrier used to give back in the day, all right? And yes, exactly, Derek, you're right. Lane made my job easy. That's the point. I am selfish. I like headlines. I like salaciousness. And as someone who covers college sports, I like those things, and I like the coaches that make my job easy. And by the way, I'll just say this from a media perspective. The coaches who do that get a lot of goodwill, okay? And I'll just give you guys a quick perspective on that. Steve Spurrier, when he was at Florida in the 90s, Florida got the benefit of the doubt so many times from the media rankings and in awards, particularly Danny Werfel winning the Heisman. After losing to Florida State, they didn't give Peyton Manning the same accord. Why was that? Because Steve Spurrier was such a good soundbite for the media. Steve Spurrier gave you all the quotes you ever wanted, and he was so much fun to cover. He opened practices to everybody that Florida was always going to get the benefit of the doubt from media voters for that. And meanwhile, Tennessee had Philip Fulmer, who was a broken record. Philip Fulmer, not a bad. I'm not criticizing the way he coaches, but he gave the media nothing. Philip Fulmer was, we're going to work like heck to get better. This, you guys remember all the Fulmer quotes. Did that consistently, and Fulmer, I think because of that, it hurt Tennessee in a lot of rankings, and with Peyton Manning winning the Heisman, people in the media didn't love Fulmer. Didn't love Fulmer as much. He wasn't a quote box, and he took the job away from Johnny Majors, who was a quote box. Had Johnny Majors been coaching Tennessee in 1997, guarantee you guys Peyton Manning wins that Heisman. Guarantee you, because people loved Johnny Majors in the media. They stuck their neck out for Johnny Majors in the media because Johnny Majors was the best quote machine there was. He always gave you something to write. Steve Spurrier always gave you something to write. Florida State got away with everything in the 90s because Bobby Bowden was a quote machine. Unsung says, so basically, if a coach kisses the media's, you know what, they get goodwill. Got it. Unfortunately, yes. I'm not saying I do that. I'm saying a lot of media subconsciously does do that. Now, unsung, but it's not kissing the media's butt. It's giving them sound bites. Nick Saban got a lot of goodwill from the media too. He didn't kiss the media's butt. He lashed out at him all the time. But what people don't understand is when a coach lashes out at you, if you're in the media, you get the quote you want then. Your job is to get the best sound bites possible to get a story out of it. When Nick Saban lashed out, he was giving you sound bites every time. All right, I'll just tell you guys that up front. So, yeah, people loved him for that. And people let coaches get away with a lot more when they do those things. Mike Leach was the master at that. Mike Leach was a superb master user of the media. I loved him for that. And that's all I'm saying is that Lane Kiffin is the most entertaining coach in the SEC since Steve Spurrier. Far and away, Lane Kiffin is the most entertaining coach in the SEC since Steve Spurrier. And I'm going to actually make that a poll question. You guys can go ahead and vote on it, but which coach provided more entertainment value to SEC football with his antics? Steve Spurrier or Lane Kiffin? You guys go ahead and vote on that. That's a tough one. That's actually a really good poll question. Which coach provided more entertainment value to SEC football with his antics? Steve Spurrier or Lane Kiffin? I think I might go Lane Kiffin, but Steve Spurrier is certainly close. That's by the way, did y'all see the comment from Steve Spurrier the other day as we're talking about this? Steve Spurrier, my brother shared it with me, was talking about Florida's offense or Florida's defense and their offense in the situation down there. And Steve Spurrier, in only Steve Spurrier fashion, basically talked about how good the defense is, and he said the problem is the defense might have to do some of the scoring too. I think it was on another duly noted podcast. We have had Pat Dooley on the show. I'm just going to play this for you real quick because this is Steve Spurrier. I can't find it. I'm sorry. I wish I could find it. But it was actually an epic quote from Steve Spurrier saying, unfortunately, our defense is going to have to do this, can't do the scoring, and something like that. I'll pull it up. I might pull it up after the break. But at the end of the day, my vote is probably Steve Spurrier, but Lane Kiffin is right there. Derek says Derek Dooley press conferences take the cake. Yeah, Derek Dooley, though, was like, he gave you good quotes, but he was so smug with his quotes and so wrong at the same time. You kind of got annoyed by him because he acted like he was smarter than you when he wasn't. And it really rubbed people the wrong way.